Hey, what's up, y'all? Today I'm going to be installing the DeeZee Tailgate Assist. Alright, so pretty simple install. These are the instructions that came with it. Our total of about 10 steps. Alright, and so this is for my 2018 Ram 2500. Alright, tools that you need come with it, except they almost give you everything you need to install this. One tool or a few that you'll need is a 5 Allen wrench, 13 millimeter open-end wrench, a 10 millimeter. Alright, a masking tape or ruler of some kind. If you can, eye out 3/4 of an inch, which what the instructions tell you. Alright, and your choice of a towel in order to wipe your face once you sweat your ass off in the summer heat. Alright, so yep, so it came with some blue Loctite, this right here, what they call the ball mount plate, the shock, the Torx wrench, alright, the ball mount, this small part, alright, the blind nut, which is this part right there, and this, pretty much this thing is a part that allows you to get this on the side of your truck, and I'll show you that to you in a couple minutes. All right, and then you have the cable clip. All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and get started. Step 1. All right, adjust the, y'all can see that, adjust the tool, nut insert tool, so there is 3/4 inch from the washer to the head of the bolt. So essentially what they're asking you to do is use your ruler. Alright, and so from that washer to the end of that bolt, 3/4 of an inch. Alright, once you got that, set your ruler or masking tape off to the side. Alright, step 2. Using and you can't read this, I'm just going to read it for you. Using a M5 Allen wrench and a 10 millimeter wrench, install the blind nut and the opening by the tailgate pivot point. Blah blah blah. Alright, so I gave this a couple reasons before starting because it's a pretty long paragraph. Alright, so essentially it's randomly raining. Alright, so this, they call this the what do they call this? The ball mount blind nut tool. Alright, call it the blind nut tool. So essentially this is set up for 3/4 of an inch. You're going to go ahead and squeeze it in here. Alright, and using the 5 Allen wrench, you're going to keep that right there, and while that's on, you're going to use a 10 millimeter wrench. Okay, and then what it says is turn wrench clockwise in order to tighten this up, and insert this blind nut tool, what is that called? Yeah, blind nut into that point right there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do that since I'm holding this GoPro. Can't do it with one hand, so let me go ahead and finish this up. Alright, so I went ahead and finished it out. Alright, so as you're tightening, alright, if you're holding that Allen wrench, you're tightening, you're turning clockwise. Alright, so what it says is after 9 turns, alright, number 9 turns, the blind nut can still, if it can still move or rotate, continue tightening an additional 1 to 2 turns. Recheck blind nut, repeat as needed. Alright, so you're pretty much going to make sure this is tight, doesn't move anymore. Don't try and like over tighten it, you know. But if it's tight, go ahead and stop. Maybe give it a little more, and that's it. Alright, and then when you are done, I'm going to go ahead and just back this all out. Alright, so they call this removing the nutsert tool when installation is complete. This is all you're doing. Alright, boom, that's it. Alright, so that is step 2. Alright, that's where we're at. Over tightening the nutsert can strip the threads and cause the nutsert to be unusable. Alright, just make sure you don't over tighten it, like I said. Step 3. apply thread lock to the threads of the ball mount. Alright, remember this is the ball mount. You got your blue Loctite. Alright, and then you're going to have to use a 13mm wrench or socket right there to tighten it. It says torque to 8 foot-pounds with the socket, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. 8 foot-pounds is nothing, so don't be over strenuous, but go ahead and put some blue Loctite, tighten this on that nut we just drilled in there. Alright, so here's the end of step 3, tighten it up, not bad at all. On to step 4, so use the T45 Torx socket. Alright, and so they do not give you this tool, the T45, alright, because I tried using the socket that they did use. Alright, and so essentially you're going to have to get a T45. Alright, remove this bolt. Alright, slide this off, and then essentially we are going to throw this on just like that. Alright, just put the bolt right back on. Alright, so let me go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. Alright, so went ahead and took off that bolt, removed it off the cable. Here it is. I threw some blue Loctite on it. Alright, so once I got that, I'm just going to go ahead, glue it through. Alright, and essentially just tighten it back up like that. Okay, and so this is step 5. Install the bolt removed from the previous step. Blah blah blah. They explain it pretty weird anyways. Just tighten it back up, and then we're going to install the cable back onto the cable bolt, as you can see right there. Alright, let me go ahead and do step 5 and 6. Come back for 7. Alright, so here's step 5 and step 6 complete. There we go. Alright, so step 7, remove the other end of the tailgate cable with the T45 Torx and remove the motion limiter. Alright, so that's what they're showing right there, the limiter that's right there. The flat retaining nut must be taken off to remove the limiter. To remove the limiter, pry up one edge of the flat nut with the screwdriver, hold this edge with a pair of pliers, and spin the bolt out of it. Once the limiter is removed, reinstall the cable mount to the tailgate. Alright, so essentially just going to have to take this off. I guess I can see where the limiter is. Alright, so after removing the bolt, there's the limiter that they're talking about, this piece that actually goes through this small rectangle in order to secure it. Alright, so that it doesn't move, I guess. Alright, so what they're talking about, remove that washer that's on top so that the limiter can come out. That washer is pretty much securing it on a piece of that thread so that it does not come out. So let me go ahead and take that out and move on to the next step. Alright, so here is it with the limiter taken off in the washer. Alright, so the washer, the way I had to do was pretty much use that knife, kind of pry it up, and so that it is kind of bent towards in just enough to get a needle nose with these pliers and pretty much twist it off. Alright, so since it's secured on a thread, it should be able to come out as long as you continue to turn it counterclockwise. Alright, and so that's how I got that washer out. And the limiter came back on. Since it has some blue Loctite on it that I see, barely a little, I'm going to put some more. And then step 7 tells you to finish off the step by putting it back on and tightening it back up. Alright, so let me go ahead and do that. And then we'll move to step 8. Step 8 complete. Moving on. I'm sorry, step 7. Alright, so now we're on step 8. Measure down from the top of the cable 3.5 inches. Alright, so let me get the measuring tape. This is where the cable clip needs to start. So here's the cable clip. Press the clip into the cable with a pair of pliers, as you can see right there. Failure to remove the limiter and to install the cable clip will cause the cable to bind or become caught between the shock and the truck bed. Alright, so just pay attention and do what the instructions say. Alright, so 3.5 inches. Let me see from the top of the cable. Alright, so here's the top of the cable. 3.5 inches is going to be roughly at that point. Alright. Somehow, alright. So that's where it needs to go. Essentially, I'm just going to use some pliers and throw it on right there. Alright. Yep. Alright, so here it is, pretty cut and dry. It's on there, it's secured really well. Alright, so step 9. So what came in the box is what they call a Mylar sheet. Alright, so this is essentially pretty much a barrier to where when these components and when you close the trunk or the bed door, they don't scratch the paint. Alright, so essentially I'm gonna skip this step and do it in the very end because I have all this shit and I want to be able to close the trunk, the bed gate. Alright, and see where it touches or where it's going to be prone to. Alright, and so that's essentially what step 9 is. So step 10, install the larger part of the shock on the ball mount plate. Alright, there's the first photo. Alright, install the narrow end on the shock on the ball mounts in the very bottom. Periodically check the upper and lower mounting locations to ensure that parts have not loosened through repeated use. If either mounting location is found to be loose, retighten the hardware as needed. Alright, so they say install the larger part of the shock. Alright, which is, alright, there it is. Alright, and then install the narrow end of the shock on the ball mount. Alright, so essentially it is like this. So point the DeeZee towards the sky and it should be able to just, yep, so like that. And now I'm just going to extend it by one hand and videotape at the same time. Alright, so here are all the tools I use for this quick little project. Not many. Most of the tools I use are just for making it easier on myself, such as the knife, 2 pairs of pliers instead of 1, long neck, 13mm so I can tighten up that bolt that one right there. Alright, so it just made it easier on myself. Don't forget 5mm Allen wrench. Alright, so I ended up putting that Mylar, that sheet right there. Sure, you probably can't see it, I just have it right there. Alright, just so if that touches. Well, here's the finished product. All looks good. One last quick tip before I finish up the video. Put it at 3.5 starting at that point. Alright, because if you start from here, it will kind of jumble up once you close the door. Alright, other than that, everything closes well. Alright. Boom. There you go. Let me know if you got any questions or not.